I really just can't even keep up with this stuff anymore. Um, Chaos is a really good word for like everything happening right now. So to take a step back, if you're taking the CPA exams right now, or if you're in college and getting ready to start these exams, um, there's just a lot of change and a lot of chaos with the CPA exam requirements right now, and you might have seen some of this, you might be hearing about it or seeing stuff online, but um, where to even begin? Uh, I guess this all boils down back to the 150-hour rule, right? So, um, based on some research, right, to sit for the CPA exam, you used to just require a bachelor's degree, 120 hours, and back in like the late 80s, early 90s, this 150-hour rule, or 5 years basically of college, um, this rule started getting floated around. AICPA, NASBA suggests this and recommends it. It takes from the 90s all the way to 2015. It takes about 25 years for every state to get this implemented, right? Because even if AICPA or NASBA recommends CPA exam requirements, like schooling, stuff like that, each state actually has a board, a state accountancy board, that is responsible and can like decide, really, I guess, like what rules they want to do, and it has to be adopted by that state, like as a state law, really. So it has to be passed at the state level, no matter what NASBA or AICPA recommends. So, anyways, that whole 150-hour rule, even when it was first recommended, it took basically 25 years for all the states to accept it. 2015 is what they're telling me online. We're now 10 years past that, and we're gonna repeal everything. We're gonna say heck with it. It's over. Like, forget it. That was a bad idea, I guess. But the reason I say this is like a little bit chaotic is because states, right? We've had the CPA shortage, right? You know, people aren't going into the profession. People aren't studying for the exam. We need to keep the certification relevant, and we want people to become CPAs. Because it is needed and it's important. Like, it's an important field, it's an important expertise, profession. But we were kind of waiting on AICPA, NASBA to like issue out some guidance, like, hey, where are we gonna go from here? And it feels like a little bit they may have dropped the ball, because last year, if you happen to catch this video, I did a rundown, but it's irrelevant now. But AICPA and NASBA proposed this new pathway, if you will, with the idea that the states would get on board and everybody would adopt this, right? Because the idea of having a uniform pathway is nice, and right, the big push for that is reciprocal licensure. If you want to move to a different state, if every state has the same requirements, we're in good shape, and you can like be licensed in a different state if you were to move or want to start practicing in another area. But that proposal that they issued last year got a ton of pushback, basically. So it was like introducing some experience-based pathway where this new like certification and sign off by your employer, kind of similar to the experience requirement anyways, or your employer was going to have to assess if you had developed certain skill sets that were applicable to being a CPA. And really, AICPA, and that's like, this came from a good place, but it was just going to create so much more like paperwork, like so much more like work really than like anyone cared to do, and tracking and like, how do you judge this? It's super judgmental. It's not just experience. It's like, did a candidate possess the skills? I just didn't see it going well. And a lot of people agreed. So what ended up happening is the states kind of just got tired of waiting on some guidance. And so they're like, I'm just going to start passing like what we think we want to do. And so what's happened is that we can pull this. Essentially, states are just like adopting and passing into law their own like licensure pathway changes. And NASBA already has like a map of which states are changing because it's happening so fast. So you can see the map here. The ones in green are states that have already changed their CPA like requirements. So I'm licensed CPA in Indiana. For us, we now have the option, if you click here on the map, or it's not going to do it for you. If you click here on this button, they have a Excel sheet that's constantly updated because this is just changing so fast. But like for Indiana, for example, you can now, starting in like 2027, so a couple years down the road, you can just get a bachelor's and take your exams, and then you would need 2 years of experience. The alternative is if you want to keep doing the 5th year and get the master's or whatever, but it's like the 150 hours, then you'd only need 1 year of experience. So kind of a bummer for me. I had to do the 150 and 2 years of experience. But if you scroll through these, a lot of these are the same. So Alaska is just doing here a bachelor degree and 2 years of experience. A lot of these, if you scroll through them, all the other states, it seems like what states are landing on is bachelor's degree or 4 years and 2 years experience, or keep the 150 and 1 year of experience. So it's basically 6 years, like school plus experience, 6 years. If you want to do 4 years of school and 2 years of work, great. If you want to do 5 years of school and 1 year of work, so be it. So these, I have not read through all the details, but scrolling through, it seems like there's some consistency with that. So a little bit of backstepping towards the 120 hours. And I don't know, does the extra year of schooling like benefit the CPAs and make us more qualified? I don't know. It's a tough one. And people will debate this down, forever, depending on if they're professors, if they're in the education space, or if you're in the profession, or if you're a student. Like, it's just totally like where you're coming from. I got some value out of my master's, besides just studying for my exams with people and like having a group of like peers that I was taking the tests like with at the same time. I learned a little bit of like, tax research, reading like papers, peer-reviewed papers. I mean, I'm probably not going to use that again, but I learned a couple things in my master's that I necessarily didn't get out of my bachelor's. Going back, if I could graduate in 4 years and make extra money that year instead of paying tuition for a year and housing, I don't know, man. It'd be tough. I really don't know what master's program, but man, if you're telling me I could make, I don't know what entry even like public accounting is right now, 60,000 maybe, I don't know, 65, 70, I hope. Man, if they're offering that, making 60,000, 70,000 bucks versus me paying $25,000 in tuition or taking out more loans, and then housing and stuff like that, like, man, I don't know. I might have just started my career, honestly. It's great that I have the master's on my resume, but now they're getting this option. Like, I mean, really the idea is to get more people into the profession, right? That's why states are doing this, and they're not waiting for ACPA to give us like better guidance. They're just like pulling the trigger because they want more people to become CPAs and to take the exams. So the idea is to make it a little bit easier and to avoid that 5th year of school. So just kind of funny and crazy that it took 25 years to get all the states on board with 150, and within 10 years we're already like backtracking and like, hey, this is maybe not a great idea. So not saying the 150 didn't help, but just the way things are right now, just like supply and demand in the field and like the profession and where things are going, it's just a little chaotic right now. So all of this is just to say that if you're getting ready to take these exams soon, or if you're in college and planning for these exams, please check the information on the NASBA site, check with your state, see what changes are happening, when they're getting enacted, when it's going to be effective, because chances are you might not need the 150 hours anymore. You could get by with the 120 and then just do extra years of experience. So a lot's changing right now. By the time I put this out, more states are probably changing. It's already about 20 states right now-ish. So we're approaching half. More states are probably going to follow suit. So stay posted on what your state's doing. At least the CPA exam itself is staying uniform, it looks like. But again, state to state, it looks like it's really flexible right now and fluid, and depending on what changes the state wanted. Again, a lot of them are anchoring around 120 hours, bachelor's degree, and 2 years of experience, or 5 years of school and 1 year of experience. So it's still similar state to state, but again, some of this uniformity and being able to transfer that license state to state this is going to really kind of blow up and change. Maybe one day down the line we start to land on one set criteria, but for now, again, the states were tired of waiting and just needed to pull the trigger. So we're kind of in this chaotic craziness moment right now, but again, just stay up to date on what your state's doing, where you're going to get licensed, and just start to plan what's best for you, right? With the timing and with your personal situation. You know, do I want to do the extra year? Do I want to go start working, making money, start my career? Lots of what ifs, but just a quick update on what's going on right now, because if you're not super familiar with this situation, it can be pretty hard to dissect and to understand. So if you've got questions, ask them below. I'll try to answer them the best I can, and if we need to make another one of these videos in a couple months, we'll do it and just keep updating the situation as it's going. Until next time, peace, good luck in your studying, and catch you on the flip side.